Sabi girl no dey too like talk. Animals dey in human form. Body man nobody like work, but you must hustle if you want job. You no finish dem won't fight us. If dem dey run dem no fit catch up. I know they form say I too righteous. No con dey form say you too like us. You no get the time for the hate and the bad energy. Got my mind on my money. Make you dance like broccoli. Steady green like broccoli. Steady on my grind, oh yeah, what you want telling me? Could deny my fantasy. You want to check if my dad be no rush. But you dey rush where it be more. Now gonna make my dad be the rush. You can't money with us. Yeah, you dey rush where it be more. You be hype, everybody dey rush.
Jean, Carolina, hey. Coming with the good vibes right now. We never see before. Ajay, my pain away, Ajay. You can call my name, my name. We not got the time for the hate and the bad energy. Got my mind on my money. Broccoli. Could deny my fantasy. My top be no rush. Cause we dey rush well, we be much. Woo! We dey rush well, we be much. Hey, we dey rush. No, darling. Yes, baby. That's how you start a live. Let's do this. Jean, I see you. Carolina, I see you. How you doing? I love and appreciate you for being here. Can you hear me okay? I hope my volume's good. Just stopped in. I'm coming back to listen. All right, Yolanda. Yeah, man. With all the bad news out there, sometimes you just gotta dance. Dance and shake it off. Dance and shake it off. Yes, you can hear me. Yes. All right. Let's do this. Yolanda, I know you're going to come back in, but I've been laughing at you that you're staying up like a night owl. And you said it's because of the energy off of the sun. And then it hit me last night and I could not sleep. My body was on fire. My brain was burning. I'm like, am I sick? Am I getting sick? What is going on? I'm feeling sensations in my body like I have never felt before. Never. And I'm like, something's wrong. And my guy just kept saying, nope, this is transitioning energy. And I mean, usually when I wake up, if I don't write my dreams down, I forget them. But this one stuck with me. After I woke up, I forgot about it. It came back. They pressed me to research it, look it up. They said, all of this is transitional energies. And I'm like, what is that? And they're like, well, it has to do with astrology. And I'm like, transitional energy, like, the planets and the alignments and all this stuff. And they're like, yes. So I decided to go look it up. And I typed in transitional energy exchange. And what kept coming up was energy transfer. And they said, go down that rabbit hole. I'm like, okay. So I started talking about how over time we transfer from one type of energy to the next. So, like, transfer from coal to gas to solar, just getting into a different type of energy that's more productive and creates less waste, right? So that's what that went into. So I'm like, okay, why do I need to learn about that? Turns out I'm going to talk about that now. They're giving me the answer now. I didn't have the answer then, but I have it now. And the message is to prepare for a shift in your energy that is so great, you're going to start to perceive the world from a different space entirely. And this is real life, real time, real vibrations that's about to shift the way you see the world. And it's time to prepare our bodies for the way that's going to change how we interact. And there's a reason for all this alien talk, okay? All this alien talk and the press conferences and the government disclosures and the talk about drones, all of that is for a reason. Hey, Big 1111. I'm glad you're in. And yeah, Yolanda, this is out of control. This energy is crazy. It's crazy. Yes, we are. Listen, this you are in the quantum leap. You are in the evolution. It's not it's coming, it's here. It's here, it's now. And that's why the distraction is so great, because somebody wants you to miss it. But there's so many of us that are speaking our truth and showing up, and the guides are not letting us sleep. We are not the ones who have agreed to bring forth this energy. The guides are not gonna rest until we are fully standing in our purpose. You will not sleep, you will not eat, you will not make progress where you think you want to go. This is a be on your path now, because you are in it. You are in it. Big time, you are in it. It's now. So all this alien talk, right? The reason for all the alien talk and the drone talk and the disclosure talk is to get you prepared for the existence that you've never heard of, the existence that is what people would probably call paranormal, okay? Reality is stranger than fiction. You are a magical being. You exist in a magical world. People have been using magic all this time, and now it's your turn to understand how to use the magic that you have. That's the disclosure. That is the apocalypse. That is the awakening, is the discovery of the magical side of you. Right? Because it took magic to make you. It took magic to create you. It took magic to create this world. Even if you believe in the Bible and religion, it starts off with magic, because the first thing was the word. That's a magical spell. So these things have to start having different connotations and meanings for you, because we've only been introduced to the negative side of these words, the negative side of magic and spells and things labeled witchcraft and pagan. And it's time for you to understand that those are just words given to your natural ability and power that you have with the universe, with nature. And you're going to have to relearn what it means to not just be aware of that power, but to wield that power, so you can create and change the life that you want for yourself. We will never speak the same. You are, yes, yes. And I'll see you, Yolanda, when you come back in. Yeah, things are about to be radically different. I mean, like, Very, very, very different. Very different. Life is about to expand. I'll tell you how it all came to this, but let's start off with some guidance. I'm going off of the Goddesses, Gods, and Guardians Oracle card. And let's see how they want to start this off for us. Let's see. Come on. It's got to feel right. It's got to feel right. Mermaid of Lemuria. Joy. That's magic right there. Look at all that symbol back there. Look at the clouds. Look at that. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Man, I'm excited. Life is about to get really, really beautiful, really magical. You haven't been losing your mind. You haven't been crazy. If you've been one of those people that it almost seemed like you were too happy for this world. You were too hopeful for this world. This world is about to accommodate you. So for so long, it felt like this world has been accommodating a different type of energy. Well, there's so many of us who are coming into our magic and our awareness and our beauty and our hope and our dreams that we're pushing back and we're making space for ourselves in this place. So some of the ways we're going to start seeing that is get ready to hear that they're discovering a whole lot of new species of things. Because as we acknowledge and become more magical in ourselves, and we create the possibility again for things to be created and to shift and to change, the energy of those things that have long gone extinct have a space to grow again. So there are plants, flowers, trees, animals that are just waiting on the other side of creation for us to create the energy that they need to show up here. When things gone extinct, they didn't all go extinct because man hunted them to extinction. A lot of times when a planet is out of balance and out of harmony, things retreat into the energetic space because their energy cannot be side by side with the energy that's here. So for example, when Earth became a lot more negative, a lot of beings who were very sensitive to negativity, they retreated into the spiritual space. It's no different than if you're very sensitive to people and their emotions when you go out in public, and after a while you just go into hermit mode and just stay home. Or if you go out, you got your headphones on because you don't want to hear nothing they're saying. It's like that. The rest of the creation that we've only read about or dreamed about, they retreat because that energy, they're in hermit mode from us, if that makes sense. So it's not until the energy is welcoming to them again do we start to see them. So look for, and the first place it's going to start is in the ocean. New discoveries in the ocean. All life comes from the ocean. So that's where you're going to start seeing a lot of new discoveries, new creatures, weird creatures, things thought to be long extinct. They're all going to start coming back. And that's one of the first clues that we are literally in the midst of this shift. Okay. But let's go ahead and read up on a Mermaid of Joy. Let's see. Mermaid of Lemuria. Let's see. All right. This says, drop the worry habit. Embrace lightheartedness. Lemuria was a light-centered civilization where the peaceful inhabitants maintained an exceptionally pure connection to the divine. Lemurian knowledge was embedded within crystals, stones, plants, and the ocean. Mer people were an extension of the water element, vibrating to a note of pure joy. The mermaids carried the fluidity of the divine feminine and were expert at balancing energy through play, relaxation, dance, creative movement, and sound healing. They freely expressed their carefree love of life. If that resonated with you, then you definitely have mermaid energy. Look who splashed into your life today. With a playful flick of her shimmering tail, this mermaid showers you with droplets of Lemurian light. She says, quote, I see how much time and energy you spend worrying about the future. You're trying to control and plan everything out of fear. This approach is outworn and it dulls your radiance. I'm here to clear you of rigid, anxious patterns that sap your life force and cloud your spiritual vision. When was the last time you played and had fun? Seriously. Seriously. When's the last time you just played? Especially if you have kids. If your kids want to play with you and they're running around the house and tearing stuff up, sometimes you got to just play with them. They're going to annoy you with playing because they're here to remind you you need to play. It says, leave work for now and let your hair down. Trust that it's safe to drop your routines for a while. Lighten up and dance with the flow of life. Joy is your birthright and opens up creative solutions. Connecting to simple joys is the answer to any life challenge you may be handling right now. Drawing this card heralds an energy shift. Right there it is. You've got Lemurian wisdom waiting in your cells. What? Ready to be expressed. Let the mermaid melt away your hard edges, soften your heart, and reattune your energy to sacred joy. You're about to dive deep into divine waters. Woo! You're about to dive deep into divine waters that have long been calling your name. Yes. Additional meanings. Practice Lemurian or mermaid meditation journeys. Sacred geometry is accelerating your spiritual development. Place pictures on your altar, wear jewelry, visualize symbols in meditation to activate Lemurian knowledge. Use crystal grids to amplify your Lemurian energy, and visit or move to the coast. Express your feminine energy and sensuality. Invocation. I create pockets of joy every day. I swim with the tide of life. I create pockets of joy every day. I swim with the tide of life. Yes. So that means if you're in here right now, oh man, y'all, my Lemurian friends. I love it. I love it. I love this. So to be connected to what you really, really love. Okay, see you, Gene. Watch you. I'll catch you on the replay. But if you really, really want to connect with the ancestral energy, your star family energy, you got to start reflecting on symbols. Symbols are very, very, very important. And what symbols help to do is they unlock the wisdom that's sitting in your cells. Okay? So when it's hard for language to create a bridge towards you and your ancestors or you and your star family, symbols can bypass that and move at light speed because it bypasses the conscious through to the subconscious and just connects with the true nature of you, which down to the very cell of you, if you go deep, deep, deep into the beginning of what you are, your sacred geometry, and that's a symbol. And when you see symbols, or you reflect on symbols that feel connected to a particular lifetime or soul family for you, that's how you awaken the knowledge and the wisdom within you, which needs to be here now to help usher in this shift that we're in the midst of. So start connecting with that stuff. I'm telling you, you'd be surprised how just a photo or a symbol, even a shell or a pine cone, anything you have, it can just awaken and give you that aha moment, right? Of something you didn't even know you knew. So think about that. All right, so let me tell you how this even all started, how I was even guided to do this in the first place. Now, my guides wanted me to also go into a little bit of how I talked to them, how this all started. I don't think I ever told the story of how I started even talking to my guides. So this all started for me since as long as I can remember. I've always talked to my guides. I always have. And it is something that I thought everybody else did. Okay. When you are rushing out of the house and you forget your keys and something says, hey, you're leaving your keys, or hey, did you check the door, or hey, did you turn off the stove? That voice is a guidance, and it sounds like you. Most people don't give it much thought, but it's something that guides you, something that'll say, hey, don't go there today, don't drive down that street, don't talk to this person. We're all here with a guiding voice. The thing is, it's just kind of there in the background. It might not be that loud, it might not be that prominent, but as you interact with it through meditation, it becomes something that really talks to you. It can tell you about everything you're going through and what you even don't understand. If you're having problems in your relationship, in your friendships, at your job, if you're trying to figure out how to start your business, anything you want to do, you can develop a relationship with this guiding system you've been born with, and it can guide you and teach you how to get better health, how to improve your relationships, how to improve yourself, how to have ease and flow in life, how to gain abundance. It's an entire connection of souls that is like your own personal guiding system that can tell you about any topic you desire. Whatever you want to know about and be guided with, you just start the process of learning it first. And then the guide that is assigned to you shows up and helps you through that state. So as I was going to sleep and I couldn't sleep, and I'm having this conversation with my guides about transitional energy, they guided me to the websites to go to and what to read and what to look up. And it led me to this website about energy transfer between people. And it spoke to me about how that's going to change in this very short future here, the ways in which we're going to communicate differently as souls to each other. Is going to go through a very significant shift. Very significant. Because now you're going to understand completely how to not just be aware of your energy, how to harness your energy, how to share that energy in many different situations, and how to kind of pull it back to protect yourself. And that can help us come out of all the zones of being hermits or being overwhelmed by people. And then is putting us on the path towards telepathy, going back towards the original human, that we could talk through emotions and not words. So I'm going to read you a little bit about this. If it ends up being too long, I'll make this a 2-part series. I don't mind coming back on. I told myself I'll be more consistent. Hey, Can, with coming on and doing lives, and I'm gonna keep my word. Hey, sis, if you're just coming in, I'm talking about how my guides kind of got me to a topic of energy transfer and how that's gonna change how we relate and talk to each other and interact with each other. So, if you're interested, the link is in the description. I'm going to read it and then throw in my 2 cents that my guides told me as I read it. So, the heading is Spiritual Energy Exchange, all you need to know. So, what is spiritual energy exchange? How does it work? On the surface, the definition appears straightforward. People can share energies and vibrations in more ways than one. With what purpose? To uplift each other's soul. It's a deep, soul enriching experience that bridges the distance between individuals. People do it unknowingly, but mastering the flow of energy allows you to assert control over the energies you receive and the vibrations you radiate. But it can be hard to learn. And this is especially important for empaths who suck up too many people's energy. When you suck up the vibes of people too much, this is going to be important for you to understand how you can control your energy so it works for you instead of against you. That's why we're here to help you refine the art of spiritual energy exchange. Here's everything you need to know about energy exchange and how it occurs. Every social interaction is an exchange of energy. Most of it is done unintentionally, though. If you're spiritually wise, you may notice and tap into the energy currents around you. But if you're only starting, it can be challenging. Some people can even perceive other types of energy, way beyond what people radiate. That's like when you can see people's auras, right? So some people can perceive just beyond feeling, they can start to see auras and stuff like that. And that's kind of where we're headed, where we're all going to be able to see that. My guides are telling me the gift of being able to see someone's aura, it's almost like they become like a mood ring, where when they are going through anger or fear or disappointment, the color in their aura will change. And then if you're here to be a master healer and you can start to see auras, you'll know what emotional state someone is truly in, regardless of what they're telling you, because you can read the colors in their aura, and that can help you to show up for them on a deeper level because you already see what it really is. So just a side note. Nature is a fine example. When the sun shines, it makes you feel good, right? That's how the sun exchanges energy with you and everyone around you. When you observe this interconnectedness of life, everything changes. You begin to transcend the limitations of the physical realm, tapping into your spirituality. Even though energy is often exchanged unknowingly, it doesn't need to be. You can choose what vibrations to release and where to channel them. Likewise, being spiritually open-minded allows you to discern what you receive. Not all of it is good, though, so it's necessary to exercise a degree of caution. Quote, life is energy, and as such, it belongs to all, reaches all, and blesses all. That's a quote from Donna Goddard. Why do people strive to master the soul-enriching art of spiritual energy exchange? The benefits are numerous, and we'll explore them in depth. For now, enough to understand that sharing your essence with those around you can be mutually beneficial. Through this practice, you can uplift and transform not just yourself, but other people's lives, creating a meaningful connection. When established, this bond cultivates your soul. That being said, not everyone has their heart in the right place. You already know this, even if you haven't perceived it spiritually. Some people are like a walking hub of negative energy, tainting anything and everyone they stumble upon. When you absorb it, your spirit weakens. It sucks the life out of you. Everyone has an aura. Some auras are inspiring, others are soul sapping. When two souls intertwine, anything can happen. Therefore, learning how to exchange energy can help you fine tune your vibrations. But how does spiritual energy exchange occur? What happens precisely? So let's get into the nitty gritty. How do we exchange energy with each other? Let's get into it. Energy can be exchanged in one of two ways, intentionally or unintentionally. One is an enlightened method of fostering a connection with the other person, and the other, a byproduct of existence. Energy can be exchanged through conversation, the spoken word. However, it can also be channeled without speaking through signals like body language and facial expressions. The thing is, even if you can't read the unspoken language, it still affects you. Therefore, the importance of learning to discern goes without saying. An energy transfer occurs whenever you say something too. For example, complimenting someone makes them feel good. That's energy. How do you say the things you say? How you say the things you say determines what kind of energy you radiate. The right kind of tone can make your words gentle or harsh. Another way for people to exchange energy is through touch. For example, a warm, embracing hug releases energy and healing. On the other hand, a sensual, delicate touch can exude sexual energy. But it's not just about the things you say and physical energy. People can exchange positive, uplifting vibrations by practicing empathy and compassion. Listening to others makes them feel good. Being kind goes a long way. Often, the energies you radiate from within reflect to you. The more compassion you share, the more compassion you get. The things you do and say inevitably return to you. That's the law of attraction. Therefore, everyone should aspire to send positive vibrations into the world. While we're on that note, another subtle way to channel your essence is through your thoughts and intentions. What you think and do shapes and redefines reality. How you think influences your life and the lives of those around you. Because of this, you should strive to declutter your mind and establish clarity. Think positively and protect your mind from fear and doubt. So, there are a lot of straightforward ways to exchange vibrant energies. Let's take a moment to summarize some of them. So, they're going to talk about 5: conversation, nonverbal conversation, physical touch, empathy and compassion, thoughts and intentions. That said, this is just scratching the surface of a vast spiritual depth and richness. Think of how much energy is shared when in a room of people. Some of it is done unintentionally, and some is directed with intent. Either way, the energy exchange between humans takes place on a spiritual level. How do you perceive it? And more importantly, how do you master it? So then it's going to go into how to perceive spiritual energy. But let me take a moment and to talk to you about what my guys are showing me here. I'm not going to stay on much longer either. I don't want this to run too long. But my guides are showing me that when women used to go out into the woods during the full moon to gather, before they called them witches, right? Let me tell you what they were doing. They were harnessing the energy of the moon, and they were dancing and they were flowing, pulling the energy up from the earth into their feet. So they were usually out there barefoot. The fire was there to help to bring in the element, and then the moon is an amplifier. So they would move their bodies and move their hands, and oftentimes you might see people who are connected to spirit, they'll move, and especially if you ever watch Indian dance, the hand movements. If you look at Indian statues and Buddhas, the mudras, all of these things helped you to move energy in your body, harness it. This was you even in Chinese medicine and dance. When I used to go to high school, there was a park that I had to pass before I went to my school. Every morning, there was a group of uh, Chinese people doing their meditation and their flow Tai Chi in the park. Even Tai Chi helps you to feel and harness your energy. We often talk about energy, but it's a real thing you feel and direct. So when you can do some kind of body movement, dance, and you can start to feel your energy, you can know when it's weak, so you can know what builds it up. You can know how much of it's being depleted when you deal with people, so you can create barriers to shut it off and kind of keep it to yourself. If someone is sick, you can direct your healing energy towards them to help Reiki. So this is you literally being in control of it. So when they were out in the woods, this is what they were doing. It was their yoga to realize, feel, harness, and learn how to project. So they would throw their energy, bring it back. They'd understand how far it could go, how to push it. So that when they went and dealt with people, and they were often healers who would go into the villages and help people, they would understand how much of their energy to give, how much of it to pull back, how to use it to heal. But to the people who didn't understand what they were doing, when they were watching them or they came across them doing this, it would just look like they were possessed because they didn't understand how to connect with the earth's energy. It's available to everyone. But if you don't know how to connect with it, you don't know how it moves you, how it changes you, how it shifts you, then when you see somebody interacting with it, they labeled it witchcraft, pagan, devil worship. And all these women who were harnessing this energy, who were mostly healers of that time, they were now feared and put to death. For learning how to harness the energy that's available to all of us, that if, I should say it like this, that is what we're going to go back to now, especially as womb-bearing women. I like that. The reason you are here, born as a womb-bearing woman, doesn't matter even if your womb is gone now. It doesn't matter because it exists in a physical state and a spiritual state. So all of your body parts exist on a spiritual state and a physical state. And just because you lose it physically does not mean the essence of it is gone. It's still there, which means it can still work from the spiritual space. All of us who have that ability to house and transmute energy through a womb, everything about this shift is going to amplify for you specifically more than anybody else. Because you're able to do just a little bit more with the energy than someone who doesn't have one. I'm talking about males here. Males don't carry a womb, therefore they're not able to do just that little bit more in terms of manifesting and wielding and creating as the woman. So the responsibility is on the woman to do more with the natural energy that's available. You have to learn how to use this because the responsibility was given to you. And you chose this responsibility because you were powerful enough to interact and wield this natural energy. The reason it's important to learn how to use it now is that it's going to amplify. And as it amplifies, if you're not grounded in understanding, it can feel like you're going through a psychosis. But you're not. This really is an energy you have to ground because it's strong. It's Kundalini. It's divine feminine. It's not a weak energy. It's very strong energy. And you have to be grounded in the knowledge that you're going to house it, you're going to transmute it, you're going to wield it. It's going to bring you power in the sense of knowledge and wisdom and the ability to influence others energetically. That's not something that's taken lightly. And if you have chosen that path to wield this energy and influence people in that way to awaken, then it's now time for you to truly understand how it moves through you. Okay. Yes, I read about it in the book Healing Power of Women. Yes. And when, listen, this thing is so strong that when it fully activates within one woman, it can expand through her entire community. If you could see her energy from an energetical space, when she's fully aware of it and she understands how to build it through joy and meditative practices and movement, she can expand that energy to her entire neighborhood. And when women who are all aware in themselves, when they come together in a group, so this is why they labeled it covens and made it seem like when women gathered, it was a bad thing because they understood the power that you have, much less if you put it together. Okay? Especially if you put it together and in the midst of that togetherness is a matriarch, someone who carries and houses the ancient wisdom of mothers. When she is fully in awareness and she's sitting in a room and there's a bunch of other women surrounding her, her vibrational energy is so strong, you are activated in her presence. You don't have to go through your rituals and routines to gain activation. Being in her presence will activate you. That is the story that they put on Jesus in the Bible, that even if you touch the hem of his garment, you could be saved. It is the same story for the great and divine mothers that carry the same energy. It's a Christed energy that once you come into awareness of it, you can hold. There's not one Christ. There's Christed energy available to all beings who can come into awareness of self. And when you can sit in the midst of a elder and they exude that much knowledge and wisdom, it activates your cells because that's how energy can flow between us. Hey, mama. You joining in right when we're talking about the elders? I love that. So yeah, that's what I'm telling you. I love to see women own their wisdom, own their age, own what they know, own what they understand, because the world is waiting for it. There's nothing wrong if you're older and you're trying to be and look young, but you should never want to be perceived as ignorant. Like you don't know anything because it's going to make you look like you're too old. And there's some people who think like that. They hide what they know and they hide their wisdom because they don't want to be perceived as being older. And yet the world is just waiting for what you have. You're never supposed to pass from this plane and not pass on your wisdom. That is literally the whole point of creation, is as you gather this richness onto your soul and onto yourself, you're supposed to leave that behind. So the next, that's the point of the totem pole. The totem pole shows everything kind of stacked on top of the other. From one generation to the next, we build on top of each other all the way up. So this idea of bringing back that mindset is very important, that we have to build on the wisdom of who's here. And when we talk about elders, we are the elders now. And you might not think about it, but even if you're in your 30s right now, these kids think you're old. And 30s isn't old to me, but they think we're old. I'm 43, so yes, they probably think I'm old, but maybe some of us, we don't see ourselves as elders. But I'm telling you, with what they're looking for and with what you have as knowledge, you're an elder now. You're an elder to them, and we have to wear that with pride. Because if you believe, and I want you to listen to me here, if you believe in reincarnation, and correct me if I'm wrong, but if you believe in reincarnation, is it not in your best interest to leave this world better than you found it? Think about that. Because that means you're going to come back. And if you come back and you didn't leave behind something that could be good to you in the next life, then what did you just do? What did you just do with the life you had? So if you believe in reincarnation, it should especially be important to you to leave behind your wisdom, your knowledge, the best of you in this life. Because if you come through the lineage of your children or your friends or the people you know, what do you want to be born into? What's that world going to be like? All of that's going to be based on what we do right now. So leave the best of you behind right now. Just in case. Even if you think this is your last life, hedge your bets. Just in case you close your eyes and you go to the pearly gates and it's not your last life and they say you got to go back because you missed something. You want to make sure if you got to come back, you're coming back to something amazing and beautiful and magical because you left it that way. Okay. So I'm gonna hop on. I don't know if this is too long. Y'all let me know if this is going too long. I don't really want to do like really, really, really long lives. But if it's interesting to you and you want me to read a little bit more, let me know. If not, I'll hop off and we just make this a part 2. So let me know what do you want to do here? You want me to keep going, make it a part 2, kind of wrap it up? You're enjoying it? All right, Big 1111. Okay, let's read a little bit more. How to perceive spiritual energy. All right, I'm keep going. How to perceive spiritual energy. Do you want to learn how to perceive the spiritual world? You can already sense it flowing through you, but how do you see beyond the veil? Practicing mindfulness opens your soul to understanding. As you cultivate your spirituality, you become attuned to the subtle energy shifts. Notice how the wind rustles your hair and the sun kisses your skin. Being able to observe and feel it is far from mastering how to channel it, though. Sharpen your perception by incorporating meditation into your daily routine. 5 minutes can make all the difference. While in a meditative state, you sense subtleties. But there's another way to tap into the veil beyond, and that's by trusting your intuition. Intuition helps you make meaningful decisions when you lack conscious information. However, it is also a powerful indicator of energy and spiritual vibrations. Energy comes from nature. Spending time outdoors sharpens your perception. Whenever you have the opportunity to spend time outside, take it. Observe and tap into the natural ebb and flow of energy in nature. Let it renew your spirit and open your soul. Not to mention, when you go out into nature and you hear natural sounds, not just cars and sirens and people yelling or screaming in traffic, when you can hear water running, birds chirping, the wind rustling the leaves, all of that helps to reset everything, all your energy. It gets balanced by those sounds. So you talk about sound therapy. People want to sell you sound therapy as another technology you could plug in and listen. There's nothing like going out in nature and hearing it live and in living color. That resets you. I know nurses who, on their breaks, when they get their breaks, they get out the building and they walk around the building, or they just sit on a bench or just get outside. No matter how much you're stuck in, when it's your lunch break, go outside. Because if it's still going on, like I know, if you stay in the building on your lunch break, somebody's going to bother you. Am I lying? Tell me I'm lying. If you work in a building and you take your lunch in that building, if you don't hide out somewhere, somebody's going to find you to ask you something. And it's going to always interrupt you anyway. So just go outside. All right, let's see. If you can't perceive the energies around you, it goes without saying that you struggle to perceive the energies within you. In other words, you may lack balance and harmony. Now might be a perfect time to cleanse the energy within and stabilize the inner world. There are many ways to reestablish balance, such as nourishing the heart chakra. Healing your energy and sending self-love your way can make a huge difference. When you make meaningful progress, the spiritual realm opens up, revealing its patterns and richness. You become mindful of auras and how each person radiates a unique energy. Sounds become more than sounds, but echoes of inner essence. More than that, you become more perceptive of signs and symbols around you. For example, you discover the abundance of symbolism in the natural world. When you learn how to observe energy, it brings up another question. How do you master the ebb and flow of spiritual energy? So this goes into how to master spiritual energy exchange. Okay, I'll read that last one and then I'll hop off and save part 2. How to master spiritual energy exchange. The more self knowledge you attain, the more skilled you become at wielding energy. Treat the journey of life as an endless, self learning experience. Engage in self reflection whenever possible to expand your self understanding and broaden your perspective. Getting to know yourself allows you to harness and channel the energies within. Be a good listener too. It might sound ordinary, but listening deepens your empathy. With empathy, you can cultivate meaningful connections and understanding with others. Listen not only to the words they say, but also to the underlying energies they convey. Be positive minded. Declutter your mind and eliminate negative thoughts and emotions. Channeling your energies with positive intentions makes them more powerful. Remember, the more spiritual you are, the better you get at exchanging energies. Familiarize yourself with various energy exchange practices like Reiki. What happens when you unlock your soul's potential for effortless energy exchange? How does it change your life and define your soul? What is spirituality like on a deeper level? For one, hang on, I lost my page here. For one, your interactions with other people become more meaningful. Inspiring others and emanating a positive, uplifting aura becomes more effortless. People feel naturally drawn to you, seeking the warmth of your presence. Others may perceive you as a teacher. Exchanging energy is often exchanging wisdom and knowledge. You can learn and expand your self understanding as you practice it. But let's step back to explore the nature of different energy exchanges. So they're going to talk about 5 types of energy exchange. First one is going to be sexual energy. Second is intellectual energy. Third, creative energy. Fourth, emotional energy. And fifth is spiritual energy. So I'm going to save those for tomorrow. Depth, my guides told me quite a bit about it. So I'm going to share that tomorrow. For that, got some downloads about that one. So appreciate you kicking it with me. Oh, true. That's me at my job. Yep. Yep. That's one thing I know about working is if you don't leave the job on your break, you're not on break. But it goes a lot deeper into how you wield your energy, how you use it to kind of master your life and make your interactions with people easier. And I think this is a great article for anybody who's empathic and other people's vibes and negativity affect you, especially as this energy strengthens and more people are going to start feeling their energy. But if they don't know what to do with it, that's when they start just, going nuts. And you're probably seeing that already, especially if you drive. Have you noticed people driving and their driving has just gotten worse? Like you feel like you have to be on high alert when you drive now because people, they just don't care. They just don't care anymore. So as everything amplifies, if you're not grounded in this energy, people could be out here spazzing out. And I don't want that to be you. Okay. So we're going to learn how to use it, wield it, going to redefine it all because they've put some negative connotations on our abilities, especially as women. We've been everything about how powerful we are and our existence in history has been labeled under myth and folklore. And it's so important that what we're able to do and our natural, spiritual, divine abilities, that we begin to understand them again so we can take advantage of this energy that's here, and that we don't lose ourselves just because we don't know what it is. Drivers have been wild. Yes. Yes, big 1111. Yes. Even if you have anxiety, you got anxiety now because people are losing it. But I'm gonna leave it here. Okay, we're gonna do our part 2 tomorrow. Thank you for kicking it with me. You could have been doing anything else, but you decided to be right here. And I love and appreciate you. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And we'll pick this up tomorrow. Yes, love is trending. Candy, my mom, Carolina, Big 1111, Yolanda Marie. Who else showed up? Even this person, Sunshine TV. How you doing, Sunshine? I appreciate you. Jean, and everybody who's going to watch on the replay. I love you. I love you. I love you. Keep being your best self. Okay? Live your joy. Live your peace. Find a reason to smile. And if you exchange energy from now till tomorrow, let it be positive, uplifting. Okay? That's all I got to say about that. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.